Language Foundations Vocabulary Flashcards, helping you achieve understanding.
An individual instance of a type of symbol. A distinct part that can be specified separately in a group of things that could be enumerated on a list. He noticed an item in the New York Times. A small part that can be considered separately from the whole. An isolated fact that is considered separately from the whole. A whole individual unit, especially when included in a list or collection. They reduced the price on many items. An individual instance of a type of symbol. The word error contains 3 tokens of R. Something of sentimental value. Insignificantly small. A matter of form only. Tokenish is informal. A token gesture of resistance. A metal or plastic disc that can be redeemed or used in designated slot machines. Something serving as a sign of something else. Be oriented. The weather vane points north. Sail close to the wind. Repair the joints of bricks. Point a chimney. Any of 32 horizontal directions indicated on the card of a compass. He checked the point on his compass. Be a signal for or a symptom of. Her behavior points to a severe neurosis. A specific identifiable position in a continuum or series or especially in a process. A distinct part that can be specified separately in a group of things that could be enumerated on a list. The main point on the agenda was taken up first. An outstanding characteristic. His acting was one of the high points of the movie. A V shape. The cannibal's teeth were filed to sharp points. A contact in the distributor. As the rotor turns, its projecting arm contacts them and current flows to the spark plugs. The dot at the left of a decimal fraction. Direct into a position for use. Point a gun. Indicate a place, direction, person, or thing, either spatially or figuratively. He pointed to the empty parking space. The property of a shape that tapers to a sharp tip. The gun muzzle's direction. He held me up at the point of a gun. A V-shaped mark at one end of an arrow pointer. The point of the arrow was due north. An isolated fact that is considered separately from the whole. A point of information. A wall socket. An instant of time. At that point I had to leave. A very small circular shape. A row of points. Direct the course. Determine the direction of traveling. Give a point to. Intend something, to move towards a certain goal. A punctuation mark, placed at the end of a declarative sentence to indicate a full stop or after abbreviations. A brief version of the essential meaning of something. Get to the point. A distinguishing or individuating characteristic. He knows my bad points as well as my good points. A geometric element that has position but no extension. A point is defined by its coordinates. A linear unit used to measure the size of type, approximately 1/72 inch. A promontory extending out into a large body of water. They sailed south around the point. A style in speech or writing that arrests attention and has a penetrating or convincing quality or effect. Be positionable in a specified manner. The gun points with ease. Indicate the presence of game by standing and pointing with the muzzle. The dog pointed the dead duck. Mark, a psalm text, to indicate the points at which the music changes. Mark, Hebrew words, with diacritics. Mark with diacritics. Point the letter. 1% of the total principal of a loan. It is paid at the time the loan is made and is independent of the interest on the loan. Sharp end. He stuck the point of the knife into a tree. The object of an activity. What is the point of discussing it? The precise location of something, a spatially limited location. She walked to a point where she could survey the whole street. The unit of counting in scoring a game or contest. He scored 20 points in the first half. A small part that can be considered separately from the whole. It was perfect in all details. A temporary military unit. An isolated fact that is considered separately from the whole. Several of the details are similar. A crew of workers selected for a particular task. A detail was sent to remove the fallen trees. Assigned to a specific task. The ambulances were detailed to the fire station. Extended treatment of particulars. The essay contained too much detail. Provide details for. Exacting, especially about details. Very particular about how her food was prepared. A small part that can be considered separately from the whole. First and most important. She gets special, or particular, satisfaction from her volunteer work. Logic. A proposition that asserts something about some, but not all, members of a class. Surpassing what is common or usual or expected. A matter of particular and unusual importance. Unique or specific to a person or thing or category. The particular demands of the job. A fact about some part, as opposed to general. He always reasons from the particular to the general. Providing specific details or circumstances. A particular description of the room. Separate and distinct from others of the same group or category. Interested in one particular artist. Something visible that by association or convention represents something else that is invisible. The eagle is a symbol of the United States. An arbitrary sign, written or printed, that has acquired a conventional significance. An artifact that is one of the individual parts of which a composite entity is made up, especially a part that can be separated from or attached to a system. A component or constituent element of a system. An abstract part of something. Two constituents of a musical composition are melody and harmony. Something determined in relation to something that includes it. The animal constituent of plankton. Constitutional in the structure of something, especially your physical makeup. Grammar. A word or phrase or clause forming part of a larger grammatical construction. A member of a constituency. A citizen who is represented in a government by officials for whom he or she votes. Needs continued support by constituents to be re-elected. The effort contributed by a person in bringing about a result. The actions and activities assigned to or required or expected of a person or group. The government must do its part. To some extent, in some degree, not wholly. I felt partly to blame. Assets belonging to or due to or contributed by an individual person or group. A portion of a natural object. They analyzed the river into 3 parts. Something less than the whole of a human artifact. The rear part of the house. One of the portions into which something is regarded as divided and which together constitute a whole. The written part of the exam. Discontinue an association or relation. Go different ways. The business partners broke over a tax question. The melody carried by a particular voice or instrument in polyphonic music. He tried to sing the tenor part. Force, take, or pull apart. Moses parted the Red Sea. An item that is an instance of some type. My dog swallowed a Lego part. A line of scalp that can be seen when sections of hair are combed in opposite directions. His part was right in the middle. Leave. The extended spatial location of something. Religions in all parts of the world. Go one's own way. Move apart. The friends separated after the party. Something determined in relation to something that includes it. He wanted to feel a part of something bigger than himself. An actor's portrayal of someone in a play. She played the part of Desdemona. Come apart. That which concerns a person with regard to a particular role or situation. It requires vigilance on our part. An artifact that is one of the individual parts of which a composite entity is made up, especially a part that can be separated from or attached to a system. Spare components for cars. An abstract part of something. Jealousy was a component of his character. Something determined in relation to something that includes it. The smaller component is hard to reach. An individual quantity of food or drink taken as part of a meal. His portion was larger than hers. Assets belonging to or due to or contributed by an individual person or group. Something less than the whole of a human artifact. The allotment of some amount by dividing something. Money or property brought by a woman to her husband at marriage. Give out. Your overall circumstances or condition in life, including everything that happens to you. Success that was her portion. Something determined in relation to something that includes it. I read a portion of the manuscript. Something determined in relation to something that includes it. A concept whose truth can be proved. Scientific hypotheses are not facts. An event known to have happened or something known to have existed. Your fears have no basis in fact. A piece of information about circumstances that exist or events that have occurred. First you must collect all the facts of the case. A statement or assertion of verified information about something that is the case or has happened. He supported his argument with an impressive array of facts. Not injured or harmed. An assemblage of parts that is regarded as a single entity. How big is that part compared to the whole? Acting together as a single undiversified whole. exhibiting or restored to vigorous good health. Whole in mind and body. To a complete degree or to the full or entire extent, whole is often used informally for wholly. A whole new idea. All of something including all its component elements or parts. Europe considered as a whole. Including all components without exception, being one unit or constituting the full amount or extent or duration, complete. Gave his whole attention. Of siblings, having the same parents. Whole brothers and sisters. An organization regarded as part of a larger social group. The coach said the offensive unit did a good job. Any division of quantity accepted as a standard of measurement or exchange. The dollar is the United States unit of currency. An assemblage of parts that is regarded as a single entity. The team as a unit. A single undivided natural thing occurring in the composition of something else. Units of nucleic acids. An individual or group or structure or other entity regarded as a structural or functional constituent of a whole. Reduced the number of units and installations. A single undivided whole. An idea is not a unit that can be moved from one brain to another. A token resembling a stamp given by a retailer to a buyer. The token is redeemable for articles on a special list. A small adhesive token stuck on a letter or package to indicate that postal fees have been paid. The charge for mailing something. Walk heavily. Something that can be used as an official medium of payment. Machine consisting of a heavy bar that moves vertically for pounding or crushing ores. Raise in a relief. Treat or classify according to a mental stereotype. A small adhesive token stuck on a letter or package to indicate that postal fees have been paid. A symbol that is the result of printing or engraving. He put his stamp on the envelope. A small piece of adhesive paper that is put on an object to show that a government tax has been paid. A device incised to make an impression, used to secure a closing or to authenticate documents. The distinctive form in which a thing is made. A block or die used to imprint a mark or design. Affix a stamp to. Are the letters properly stamped? A type or class. More men of his stamp are needed. Crush or grind with a heavy instrument. Stamp fruit extract the juice. Destroy or extinguish as if by stamping with the foot. Stamp out tyranny. Form or cut out with a mold, form, or die. Stamp needles. Reveal clearly as having a certain character. His playing stamps him as a romantic. To mark, or produce an imprint in or on something. A man whose name is permanently stamped on our maps. A small adhesive token stuck on a letter or package to indicate that postal fees have been paid. A condition or position in which you find yourself. The unpleasant situation, or position, of having to choose between two evils. A job in an organization. The spatial property of a place where or way in which something is situated. The position of the hands on the clock. The particular portion of space occupied by something. A rationalized mental attitude. An opinion that is held in opposition to another in an argument or dispute. A way of regarding situations or topics, etc. The arrangement of the body and its limbs. The relative position or standing of things or especially persons in a society. Atheists do not enjoy a favorable position in American life. A point occupied by troops for tactical reasons. Put into a certain place or abstract location. The act of putting something in a certain place. An item on a list or in a sequence. Moved from third to fifth position. The post or function properly or customarily occupied or served by another. Cause to be in an appropriate place, state, or relation. In team sports, the role assigned to an individual player. What position does he play? The act of positing, an assumption taken as a postulate or axiom. The appropriate or customary location. The cars were in position. An item in a newspaper. One of the items to be considered. A job in an organization. Assign a location to. A point located with respect to surface features of some region. This is a nice place for a picnic. Assign a rank or rating to. The particular portion of space occupied by something. He put the lamp back in its place. A particular situation. If you were in my place, what would you do? Assigned to a station. A space reserved for sitting, as in a theater or on a train or airplane. He sat in someone else's place. Recognize as being. Establish the identity of someone or something. Where you live at a particular time. Your place or mine. Identify the location or place of. Locate. Take a place in a competition, often followed by an ordinal. Put into a certain place or abstract location. A public square with room for pedestrians. Make an investment. Proper or designated social situation. He overstepped his place. A blank area. Any area set aside for a particular purpose. Who owns this place? Estimate. An item on a list or in a sequence. In the second place. Intend, something, to move towards a certain goal. The post or function properly or customarily occupied or served by another. Took his place. A general vicinity. He comes from a place near Chicago. An abstract mental location. He has a special place in my thoughts. Assigned to, a job or a home. Finish second or better in a horse or dog race. He bet $2 on number 6 to place. Place somebody in a particular situation or location. He was placed on probation. Proper or appropriate position or location. A woman's place is no longer in the kitchen. Sing a note with the correct pitch. The passage that is being read. He lost his place on the page. To arrange for. Place a phone call. Not of prime or central importance. Occurring with or following as a consequence. Snags incidental to the changeover in management. Frequently plural, an expense not budgeted or not specified. He requested reimbursement of $7 for incidental expenses. Sometimes followed by 2, minor or casual or subordinate in significance or nature or occurring as a chance concomitant or consequence. Incidental expenses. An item that is incidental. An item listed in an inventory. An item in an appropriation bill. Some governors can veto line items in their state budgets. The most interesting or memorable part. Move into the foreground to make more visible or prominent. The introduction highlighted the speaker's distinguished career in linguistics. The most interesting or memorable part. The highlight of the tour was our visit to the Vatican. An area of lightness in a picture. Apply a highlighter to one's cheeks or eyebrows in order to make them more prominent. Highlight the area above your eyebrows. Usually preceded by, in, a detail or point. It differs in that respect. The condition of being honored, esteemed or respected or well regarded. An attitude of admiration or esteem. She lost all respect for him. A feeling of friendship and esteem. He inspires respect. Regard highly. Think much of. I respect his judgment. Show respect towards. Behavior intended to please your parents. He went to law school out of respect for his father's wishes. Courteous regard for people's feelings. Out of respect for his privacy. A courteous expression, by word or deed, of esteem or regard. Be sure to give my respects to the dean. Something remote. A specific detail in a set of rules or terms belonging to a particular field. The resolution died on a technicality. The state of being technical as in the use of technical terms or methods. The judicial system suffered from too much technicality and formality. A small or minor detail. He had memorized the many minutia of the legal code.
Become our student and get access to effective and free educational materials. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to become a part of our growing YouTube community and to learn English effectively.